4. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the EG Pot of Thunder with your boy, the young light-skinned Keith Sweat. Here with my guy, Fredo Fitness has returned. It has been like over 100 episodes. He was one of the OG guests in the pod. Welcome thank you for coming back and blessing us with your presence, the EG Pot of Thunder, baby.
Appreciate it, my dog. Always.
Hey, man, it's been a minute. Like, you're literally one of the OG guests. I appreciate that in the first place. You know, supporting from day one. I don't know what this is gonna be, like episode like 103, I think. So yeah, I mean, what like 2 years ago? It's been 2 years. Why has made you want to come back on the EG Pot of Thunder?
First of all, shout out to you for being able to run this 2 years from me consecutively, ongoing, always putting out content. That's very fire. You guys make sure you follow the page. But yeah, man, I just feel like it's been a long time. You showed me love from the jump, so I just feel like it was only right for me to come back, give some updates, you could tell me where you're at right now. I'll tell you where I'm at right now, and yeah. Yeah,
and one of the things you said right before we went live was, like, people think, like, I've met so many people at the podcast. It's kind of crazy, and they're always like, who comes up with the script? I'm like, bro, there's no script. Like, you're like, oh, let's do a pod. I'm like, all right, bet. Did not ask you what you want to do. I'm like, we'll figure it out when we get here. But one thing you did say, though, was before we hit live was, let's get some Club Shay Shay vibes. So you're a big Shannon Sharp supporter?
So super. Like, I feel like his show is very fire. Just having people come tell their story. Like, he obviously does his homework beforehand, so his is a little more scripted. But at the same time, everybody goes and gets what they have to get off their chest. So I feel like that's very fire. Just giving them a platform to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Shannon Sharp's definitely one of those people too that like gives motivation. Like, bro, when does this motherfucker sleep? Bro, he's doing First Take. He does Club Shay Shay. He does the Nightcap of Ocho Cinco. And it's like, bro, if this dude can do it, like, why can't you? Do you get those motivations from people like that? Like, do you, maybe him, anybody else, like, do you see those, like, celebrities and you're like, damn, bro, like, they're putting me into perspective. Like, I can be out here grinding, hustling, making, like, you know, my dreams come true, too.
Yeah, I definitely listen to all those people, their motivation, just because, like, exactly what you said, like, if they're not making excuses and I have less going on than them, and the goal is to be in their position one day, maybe not like exactly what they're doing, but financially, and you don't want to have your whole family situated, it's like, why not? Instead of you scrolling through Instagram or you just chilling at the crib doing nothing, taking 4-hour naps a day, like, you could be getting to it, finding ways to level up, not only you, but your family and your loved ones.
Sure. Yeah, no, it definitely makes me think, like, you know, I feel like I do a good amount of stuff too. People are always like, bro, how do you do this stuff? I'm like, bro, I kind of like use them as motivation. Like, definitely, I'm like the biggest Shannon Sharp fan, but maybe I am. I do watch a lot of his shit. But, like, you know, people like that, anybody with podcasts or doing that type of, like, Kevin Hart, The Rock, bro, is like, how in the world, bro? Like, Stephen A. Smith, this motherfucker, he's even crazier than Shannon Sharp. This dude doesn't fucking sleep.
It's because all excuses, at the end of the day, all you really need is, of course, you want more. Let me not even promote that. Get your rest, take your rest. But at the same time, when it's time to work, it's time to work. And you just can't make excuses. You got to get it done. If you're trying to be at that level. If you're not, then you settle. But for the people who are, you got to put in the work.
No, for sure. I mean, like, so I know you have like a 9 to 5 right now. So and you have a whole bunch of this stuff happening too. Like, you're doing Breakthrough. You have the Fredo Fitness. So are you trying to, you know, like, using that as motivation, like trying to build up Fredo Fitness where you don't even have to do the 9 to 5? Is that like the ultimate goal?
Yeah, something like that. So I also do something I'm dabbling into is real estate. So I feel like if I can establish myself in multiple streams of residual income, it's kind of like the end goal. Because at the end of the day, we're all thankful for our 9 to 5s because it helps us provide for our families and helps us fund the lifestyles we have. But realistically, nobody wants to work for somebody else. Or at least, let me not say nobody. I personally don't. So the goal is to just keep grinding to be able to establish myself. So you go to work, kind of like how you do. You see, like, how you travel when you want to. You go on vacations when you want to. If you don't feel like working today, you don't feel like going to the office, you don't go. Like, that's the end goal for me. So if I could set myself up for that through real estate and just having multiple streams of income, then.
So how you doing that with, like, real estate? So you're trying to get... So, yeah, so, like, what's, like, your first steps into that field? Like, you're getting, like, a 3-family? Are you trying to get to Airbnbs? What do you mean by, like, real estate. There's so much you can do in real estate.
For sure, yeah, I definitely sound very typical saying that. But so I copped a 2-family.
Nice, congrats.
So appreciate that. So yeah, basically the goal is to turn it to a 3-family, and just with the way rates are going right now, it's just really expensive. So I had to get a little creative to turn it into a 3-family to cash flow, but it's all part of the process, and I'm just trying to learn on how to get from a house 1 to 2. And then from 2 to 10 and so far and so on, and then eventually getting maybe even a complex or like the lofts, like all that type of stuff. Like I feel like once you start thinking about it often, and you start doing your research, you find out how actual possible it is. Like it doesn't really seem like a distant dream anymore. So that's kind of in the steps I'm at.
Who's helping you out with that? You're just doing your own research, or you're like reaching out to like real estate agents, or just Audible, like YouTube? Are you doing YouTube 101?
I'm doing everything. YouTube University for sure. Always watching some type of podcast to learn about people who did it before me. And then people who I personally know, like I train a couple people who are into real estate. Shout out my girl Angie. And then shout out my boy Sam Albert. He's another person that I definitely look to for information. Then a couple of breakthrough parents actually are into real estate. Shout out Michelle Davidson. She definitely is a big mentor to me. And yeah, so it's just between them, YouTube, and any person that I meet in person. I could meet you in passing and you could tell me that you have interest in real estate. I'll literally start frying you with questions like, oh yeah, what's your portfolio? How'd you get there? How do you get from house 1 to 2? And just being humble enough to ask anybody I run into for information.
That reminds me of I saw like I don't know, somewhere on Instagram or TikTok or something like that Magic Johnson used to reach out to all the people in the front row. Like, how'd you get these seats? What do you do? Just constantly being like inquisitive and stuff like that. And sometimes I feel like I could be. Do you ever feel like you're annoying with stuff like that? Like you feel like you're kind of interrupting people's days and shit like that, like being too inquisitive? Sometimes I feel like I can be.
Honestly, like background about me, I'm not only the youngest child, but I'm the youngest grandchild. So it's like maybe I'm used to being annoying, but I really honestly I don't have shame in it. So, and a lot of people that I've spoken to, at least, like they have interest in it too, so they don't mind giving the game to somebody else. So I definitely don't shy away from asking them questions. And if they feel like or I'm annoying, then it is what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, and I feel like it can be like scary though. Like I feel like people think they're being like. Sometimes I feel like I can be too much, like someone random like that. But there's no dumb question. You never know what the answer could be, what it might lead to, what what kind of interaction where it might lead. And sometimes people are so closed off where they're like, "Oh, I don't want to bother this guy." Meanwhile, like you said, those people probably want to talk about it.
Exactly.
But
a lot of those people I ran into actually love giving the game away, and then once that's basically how relationships are made, because you never know. You could be talking to somebody that they had a bunch of questions, are trying to have interest in it, and then one day they can have something you need. Like one day they can have a roofing company. Now you have a bunch of houses there putting you onto roofs, or they have a bunch of friends that have tenants, and now you're able to just bridge those gaps, and just everybody eats from it.
For sure. I mean, real estate is a whole big thing. Like I dabble in real estate too, but it's like a pain in the ass, man. Because you never know. Like you said, you just need people on people on people. Like you need contractors nonstop. Because, man, contractors like barbers, bro, they're on their own time. Mm-hmm. So, like, they overbook themselves. Then you think they're going to come help you out. They don't show up. Now you think you're going to do a flip in 6 months, 8 months into it. You're like, yo, what's going on here? It's definitely stressful, man. Like, do you have any of those, like, concerns, like, where, like, if you do get into this, you don't know where you're going to lead to and stuff like that?
Can't really have those concerns, bro. Honestly, everything you do, all the research you can, all the background knowledge you can, you prepare yourself as best as possible. Then you have to go into it just like it's. Honestly, I compare a lot of things in life to football because that's what I know best, because that's what I played my whole life. So it's like, obviously, in the week coming, you're watching all the film you can. Yeah, doing all the lifts you can. You're getting all the extra running you can in during practice. You're practicing your plays full speed. But at the end of the day, when everybody has a plan, like Mike Tyson said, until somebody gets punched in the face. So then you just have to learn how to pivot off of that. So whether it's you making multiple relationships with multiple contractors so they could get that done, or you just, YouTube University figuring out how to do stuff yourself it's just honestly. And then once you go through the fire, you come out, more established and a better person, and you know how to handle situations now. So
100%. So like last time since you've been on, you didn't have a house last time. So now you do. You If not, you're lucky, but it's gonna happen at some point. Have you had like a crazy, like a story we had to go and fix something, or some craziness happened, pipe burst, like my current bathroom pipe burst, bro? I don't have a fucking bathroom right now. It's crazy.
God forbid. Hopefully it don't happen soon. I'll say like maybe the craziest thing is I had to get a new roof. I didn't really so getting the house, obviously, like if you don't want to spend like crazy amount of money to get a house, then you have to, you know, kind of put in some work into it. So when I got it, I had to do that. But that was, God willing, that was pretty much it. That I would say that was that crazy, and then just that and trying to find tenants, I would say that's the craziest process I had to go through. Because me, like I said, I studied the game. Part of it that I didn't, I actually heard it, but I didn't know how hard it would be. Trying to get tenants during the winter time and the end of fall. So I went through that process. So that was definitely a learning experience. And doing that and paying for a roof definitely cost my pocket some. But like I said, now that I went through the fire, I learned how to kind of maneuver through that. So, and then like I said, also just speaking with people and making relationships. One of the relationships I had, I was able to, you know, leverage them to be able to get my roof done. Shout out my girl Angie for sure.
Hey, Angie sounds like she's coming through for you. So, yeah, bro, the pipe burst was crazy for me. So I haven't said this story in the podcast yet. Kind of had a little hiatus, traveling a lot. Have not had time to edit, you know, clips. But so sorry. This was like, I don't know, maybe like Sweet 16 NCAA. Get home, I put a load in the washer upstairs. I think I was going to WrestleMania. It was like March 29th. So I was going to WrestleMania that weekend. So I was getting my camera ready. You know, I'm going to vlog. Follow the Explore F page, different for all my travel adventures. So I was getting my camera ready and shit like that. And go into my room. God, just put my camera down on the table. Go in my room. I hear a boom. I was like, what the fuck? Bruh, I go outside. Like, I come into the, you know, living room area. And camera's still on the table. I'm like, oh, that's fucking weird. And I'm not sure if you remember that week. It was downpouring.
Yeah.
So that minute the boom happens, sounds like it's raining outside. I'm like, God damn, it's pouring outside. Go back into my room. Go watch the game. I'm just chilling for like 2 hours, bro. I check the cameras after. 2 hours watching, you know, whoever the hell was playing. Our boy Eller hits me up. He's like, oh, you trying to go out? I'm like, all right, yeah, bet. I'll take a shower right now. Go to the bathroom. My fucking shower the entire bathroom is leaking, like downpouring. I was like, what the fuck? Open up the hallway, bro. It's like fucking a hurricane. It is
in your house
everywhere. I was like, holy shit, bro. Bro, the water's coming everywhere. Like, my basement was flooded, everything. So obviously did not go out that night. It was nuts. And I still have not gotten my house fixed.
Damn.
Bro, like the insurance company's playing games. They're like, oh, we think that's from a previous a leak. Like, what are you talking about? I have a video of the water coming down to the basement. Bro, it's crazy. Real estate is scary. It's scary. It's great. Obviously, you should do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. You should definitely do it. Airbnbs, flips, anything you can do. But people don't tell you about those crazy stories.
Yeah, I definitely. My girl went through a similar situation. Same thing. Just having a leak in the house, and just like I said, the type of person I am, I learned through other people's experiences. So just seeing what she had to go through to get that situation situated, and how long it took, and just the insurance companies is no joke.
It's crazy. Like
anybody that's getting into the game, number one thing I would recommend you do, other than obviously doing your background knowledge and just learning, is stack your bread. Like all that designer, all that type of stuff that you're putting your funds into. If you plan on getting into real estate, stack that. And because it's not just if there will be a rainy day, there will be a rainy day. So you have to be prepared for those days, and financially, not just knowledge wise. I mean,
100%. Yeah, I mean, luckily I was here. Like, you have a friend who helps me out with a lot of stuff. He's like, if you say if you were traveling, that pipe was gonna burst at some point because like the cold water pipe rusted out, and that's how it exploded out. He's like, if you weren't home, your house literally would have fucking exploded. Like the water would have kept building, would have went through your walls, and like your house would the walls would have came down.
Damn.
So it's pretty crazy. You definitely need that. Speaking of like designer stuff like that, so now that you are getting into real estate and stuff like that, are you like kind of like, you know, stepping back a little bit? I know, you know, my guy Fredo, he's a fly guy. So are you like still trying to, are you still into the fashion, or you're like, damn, I'm getting a little bit older now. I need to step back and, like you said, stack my bread, and fashion can wait. Well, how's that? How you balance on everything?
Don't get me wrong. Everybody that works hard, spend your money on what you want to spend it on. Definitely, feel me, take care of yourself. Buy the things you like. But at the end of the day, have the thought in mind that, all right, keep the main thing the main thing. So I'll never say, stop buying all that stuff. So my mindset is don't, anything you enjoy buying, whether it's like you going out to eat certain times or you buying some type of certain brand that you like, do that, but just make it more affordable. So if you're going to do that, know you got to put in some extra work to make that affordable so that you're still meeting your savings goals as well as, buying the stuff that makes you happy in it, and that's what you enjoy. So I'll definitely say it's a happy medium. You don't have to cut off. Like I never really liked when people say, yo, save your breath, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing that. Because at the end of the day, it might deduct from your quality of life, and that might be something you enjoy, or whether it's activity or clothes you like to buy. So don't completely stop, but just keep in mind, keep the main thing, and make it affordable. So put in the work behind it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty funny. Quote I heard, one of the quotes that resonated with me my entire life, is stuck with me. Cody Rhodes, WWE, champion actually. Mm-hmm. He said that his dad told him this: spend it now, you'll make more later. Obviously, it's like a funny joke. It's like, don't do anything, but honestly, I've kind of put that in my head. I'm like, you know what? Who knows what's gonna happen? I could die tomorrow. Like, you're literally not. I don't want to die, but like, if I keep saving, like, I'll save up for when I'm 40, then I'll start going on vacations. Yeah. Bro, you never know, because people, always ask me like, how are you traveling so much, stuff like that. I don't smoke. I don't gamble. Don't have a girlfriend right now. Don't have a pet. I don't have kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm saving a lot of money, and I don't drink coffee too. Yeah. So it's like, what else would I do right now? Like, instead of just staying home every single weekend, I'm trying to see the world and experience life right now. Exactly. And it's like, I thoroughly enjoy traveling. We've traveled together, and like, I'm not going places and like doing crazy ass shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I experience stuff. I go on excursions, but like, I'm not flying first class, bro. Whatever the cheapest is, I'm flying that motherfucker. I don't even give a shit, bro. When I went to Greece last 2 weeks ago, bro, we had to pay for water. I was like, God damn, I'm in the fucking like frontier of fucking international flights. This is bullshit. Yeah. Bro, so like I'm not doing like crazy shit like that. I'm not buying like, bottles, like 5 bottles a night, shit like that. So like, I'm traveling, but like, I'm not going crazy. So like, I feel like that's where you need the happy balance, happy medium. But don't get me wrong, I got some like fucking like 6-row seats at WrestleMania, so that was pretty expensive. But
at the end of the day, like I said, you're the type of person, you put in the work, you invest in real estate, you have your own things going on. So definitely use your money on what you enjoy. At the end of the day, that's what we work hard for. Nobody, like, life will be, I don't know the quote to say, not miserable, but life won't be enjoyable if all you do is work all day long. Because at the end of the day, you live in America, you have to work. So life wouldn't really be enjoyable if you just worked all day long and you didn't use some of your money to enjoy the things that you enjoy. So I definitely say do that, but obviously keep the main thing, and remember what you really have to be, what your goals are, and have goals set so you could, invest in those type of things.
Yeah, I definitely think that's why some people are kind of, you see people like they're miserable and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, why are you so miserable and stuff like that? It's like, oh, like, they haven't experienced life. And it's like, bro, you gotta go out. There's some people I've talked to, and they're like, I've never left Rhode Island. I'm like, that is crazy. I've never been on an airplane. I'm like, bro, I've been on an airplane like fucking 20 times this year. Never mind.
No, that's crazy.
But like, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get that mindset, and it's maybe. I've been told this before, like, I've outgrown Rhode Island. I've been told that sometimes. Do you feel like yourself, you've outgrown Rhode Island?
Honestly,
like with your mindset and like your goals and what you're trying to accomplish in life?
I feel like I haven't done enough yet. I've done some in Rhode Island, but I feel like I really actually enjoy Rhode Island. As much as people hate on Rhode Island, you always notice they always end up coming back. Like, we have a lot of good things over here, a lot of good people, and I feel like I really enjoy like the mix of cultures. Like, not a lot of places you can have, all the Africans chilling with the Spanish people, chilling with the Europeans, like everybody all in one. And, like, for instance, something like Atwell's Ave. What's the street called?
Fed Hill?
Yeah, Fed Hill. So it's like something like that. We have an African restaurant right next door to the the Spanish spot right next door to the Italian restaurants. Like that's really a rare thing that you would see we wouldn't see in any other places. So I feel like I haven't conquered enough for me to say I'm sick of Rhode Island. But the end goal, I have been thinking of like, investing in homes in other places and maybe having that be a final destination.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely wouldn't say I've outgrown it yet. I still got more things to accomplish here. And I just like the
diversity.
Yeah, and the close proximity I have to everything. Like, I can get my hands on everything just growing up here. I've been able to, like if I want to do football, I have people to reach out to. If I want to do real estate, I have people to reach out to.
You can network.
Yeah, I have a good network set up right here. So yeah, I've accomplished a little more before I outgrow it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's for the most part. Like, we're an hour from Boston, 3 hours from New York. Mm-hmm. An hour and a half from Connecticut. I don't know why we would go there for, but we can go to Connecticut if you want. DC too. DC is low key fire. I'm not sure if have you been to DC?
I've been to DC. It's too expensive for my liking.
It is expensive though. It is expensive. I will say that. And the traffic sucks ass. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with you. Like the diversity here is crazy. I went to Georgia last year for a 50 Cent concert, honestly, because I was in Columbia when he was in Rhode Island. So I was like, I'll go to Georgia, make a trip out of it. And one of my good friends, I know or at least of her, Rose, and she was like, give me the breakdown beforehand. She's like, one, you're going to be like the only Colombian here. She's like, there's literally 3 like groups of people here. There's black people, Mexicans, and white people. She's like, literally that's it. I went out one time and I spoke to some Mexican girl. She's like, oh, you're Colombian. Like, I was like, oh, I'm Colombian. She's like, wow, you're like the only Colombian I've ever met. I'm like, that is crazy. Because like, as you know here, there's everything everywhere, bro.
Everything everywhere. That's one of the things. But I just like so I enjoy how close everything is in Rhode Island. But going out like out of state, like honestly, like I don't know if I'll call it a dream destination, but somewhere that's been in my thoughts is like down south. Like I just kind of like the spaciousness and how everybody's still like welcoming and close, but at the end of the day, everybody has their own space. Like everybody has not everybody, but people who are well off, which I see myself being one day, have like, big yards and like you can get a big home for not as expensive, and like your kids will have their own rooms, and like your family, you can have cookouts and invite all your friends over and stuff like that. So
where are you thinking specifically? Like Georgia, Austin, Houston, honestly, New Orleans, Florida?
My older brother lives in Texas. I don't know if you're on Instagram, they always show those houses in Texas that you get for cheap. Yeah, so that's definitely somewhere I've thought about, but I don't have any set plans. So honestly, it's just I focus on it now. So I just gotta get right over here first, and then
You haven't thought about. You went to Bryant, so it's not like you really went far for college, but like, so I'm not sure if you have like the experience of like being far for a certain amount of time. You don't have like those fears of like missing your friends or family and stuff like that. Like you would have no problem going somewhere and building like a new life somewhere else.
So I only place I went to school away from was like in New Jersey, and I feel like one of the good things about Rhode Island is you come back and it's the same thing that you left. So I wouldn't say that I would be too sick if I didn't see them. And honestly, it's not like I wouldn't be able to travel back and forth. So, and this is like I said, end goal type of thing. So like when I'm grown, where you feel, I feel like even at the age we are at now, you see your friends a little less often. So at that, imagine when you're 40 or 50 with kids and all that type of stuff, you probably even see them less and often. So like for holidays, birthdays, I wouldn't mind seeing them at that point in time. And then, of course, in whatever environment you go, you're going to make new friends, meet new people. So I wouldn't really say that's something that would hold me back.
Yeah. I travel a good amount, and people always ask me, like, where would you move? And honestly, I've been to a lot of places, and nowhere has really, like, wowed me, where I'm like, I got to move here. I thoroughly like Rhode Island. Yeah. Like legitimately. I like Rhode Island. The only thing for me, switching topics, would be like the dating scene for me, to be completely honest. Because like, my boy, I know you know of him, or I'm not sure how close you guys are, or like, well, if you guys even know each other. But Steve Montoya, I know you know of him at least. Yeah. He's in your sister's class, and he tells me a lot. He's like, bro, you need to get out of Rhode Island all the time. He's like, bro, you need to go to Boston at least, Boston, or you need to be in New York. You need to be in a big city. He's like, he thinks I've outgrown Rhode Island. In certain instances, I definitely agree with him. Yeah. And I think in those instances, it's definitely like the dating scene. Because, that's the one thing I don't like about Rhode Island. I feel like we definitely have that small state mindset. Yeah. A lot of people do, and I feel like that's, you're a little bit younger than me, not too much, but I feel like that's one of the things we've always gravitated towards each other is like that ambition. Like I've seen it in you, like when you were younger, that's where, we used to work out together when you're in high school, pick you up. And, I definitely always gravitate towards type of people. Like even, you, Angel, and people like that who have like, you're great at something because you have that drive and it means you're gonna be great in life. Yeah. That's like a skill you can go to anything. Like you said, football is my thing. If you're good at something, you're gonna be good at everything you do in life if you have that mindset. Right. And I feel like a lot of people in Rhode Island don't, though. It's like one of those weird things. That's why we don't have that many NFL stars, NBA stars, because they hit that glass ceiling where like, this is good enough. Yeah. And that's where it falls short for me. I feel like a lot of guys and girls, not just girls, where they're like, I'm content making just with this job, and I don't want anything more in life. Right. They want people to take care of them, stuff like that, and that's where like I want someone kind of on my level, and it's tough to find in Rhode Island. Yeah,
I would say honestly, similar to like you said, what you're looking for is not common though. So you gotta realize that anywhere you go is gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be tough because obviously in bigger states there'll be more of a population of those type of people, but it's all your environment, So I feel like another thing that's tough with the dating scene over here is that I feel like everybody in Northern Rhode Island, like if you're from like Pawtucket, Cranston, Providence, East Providence, you probably chill around the same people. So like, let's say if you want to go date somebody, you're probably gonna know someone who dated them before. So it's tough. And then same thing with Southern Rhode Island. I feel like, let's say if you're from like Narragansett, North Kingstown, South Kingstown. I'm not from there, but I would guess that they have similar, run into a similar thing. But I would say if that's what you're looking for, is kind of like you go to events that those type of people go to. So like whether it's like, I don't know if it sounds corny, but how they say cliche, meeting your girlfriend at church or meeting your girlfriend at real estate events or whatever events that you like. Or what you like doing and where those people will be at, that's kind of where you meet them. Like, for me, is like, I went to the gym to meet mine, so I know she has some type of work ethic, so.
Oh, that's where you guys met?
Yeah, so.
I have a whole bunch of stuff in my back pocket we can talk about. A lot of talking points right now. Yeah. So, just because it's on, you just said it. So, you met her at the gym. Yeah. How do you feel, especially being, Fredo Fitness, stuff like that? But your gym's different. I guess this would be more implemented for like the commercial gyms. How do you feel about like, what's the etiquette of like talking to a girl at a gym? Like, it's a lot of, I feel like it was like a year ago where like girls were like filming guys being creepy and stuff like that. So like, would you recommend it? Like, should you do it? Like, I mean, you did it, but like, how's that going forward? Like, do you think you should be talking to girls at gyms, like making moves? Honestly, you don't think it's like, I don't know, the cancel culture being, fucking do something creepy, and then you're like, oh god, this fucking guy.
Honestly, bro, the real answer is they put them on camera because they really didn't want them. Because if it was somebody that wanted them or that they actually wanted or they had the interest in, they wouldn't have made that video about them. So honestly, that's what it comes down to. So. I'm not gonna tell anybody where to or where not to shoot your shot. There are some girls that don't feel comfortable, like when you go into the gym, like they feel like, all right, like I want to go here and get my work in and get out of there, and I don't want to be annoyed by guys trying to shoot at me.
All right, guys, we're back. There's a little bit of technical difficulties. So yeah, you're saying that if she's into you, that she's not gonna put you on camera though. Like she's definitely you're gonna get a little bit more leeway if the girl's into you. So it doesn't really even matter if you're shooting your shot. Like, don't feel weird if you're shooting a shot then.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, every single time they put you on cameras because they're really not feeling you like that. But there might be a guy, you never know. You might be the right person and it might be the right time. So, just trust your gut. And once again, don't harass anybody. So she says no, keep it pushing. Don't start following her, everything, looking at her weird every time she enters the gym. Just chalk it up and keep it pushing.
Yeah, so you take that L. Don't try to follow her on Instagram, pretty much.
Bro, if she's not into you, she's not feeling you, bro. Just, let it go. That's it.
I never name names, but I know a couple. And I'm like, oh, how did you guys meet? I always ask that couple that question. And they're like, Well, the female was like, honestly, he asked me out like 8 times, and I finally just gave in. Like I think that's weird when a girl says that, especially in front of him. Like, damn, so you got dubbed like 8 times, and then you finally come through. So would you say like I guess he was kind of her? I mean, that's not the way to put it. I guess he was on her shit. So do you think sometimes it works though?
I mean, I guess that I've heard that story from Michelle Obama, Barack Obama.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's what I heard. But I don't know. For me, I feel like especially nowadays, it's so easy to cross those lines, and you don't want anybody calling you a creep or something like that. So for them, honestly, you do what you want to do. For me personally, if she shows she's not feeling me, I'm keeping it moving.
100%. For me, I have like a 2-date max.
Yeah.
2-date request max is what I meant. I asked you out once. All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you're busy, whatever. And I'll wait, a couple of days, maybe a week or so. Ask out again. She gives me another excuse. I'm done. I'm not going to ask the third time. The first 2 times is on me. Third time, you look like a fucking idiot. You keep going through.
That's it.
So you're saying pretty much calculate your shot. Don't apply pressure and calculate your shot.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying you would encourage, shooting your shot anywhere you really are, but just calculate it. Don't be too much about it though. But don't be shy. Like, don't have that like nervous in you, because like, I think young F sometimes maybe if I go out, you have a little bit of nerves sometimes. Where you're like, damn, should I make the move? Is she into me? Is she looking my way? Then you wait too long, and then you don't ask. Then the next person's on her, and then you're like, fuck, I was gonna talk to her, but she was a little busy. Whatever. It's not for me anyway. You're saying I shouldn't have those worries. Just calculate, shoot it. If it misses, it misses.
Yeah, you don't want to ever do too much. That's basically what I'm saying. If you shoot your shot and you read the room and you feel like it's the right place, right time, then do it. If she says no, keep it pushing. Simple as that. And yeah, I get what you're saying when you're in the function, you wait too long, but it's not that hard. At the end of the day, she's a human, so just go talk to her and figure it out.
You never had that one person you waited too long, or you didn't make the move on, you're like, damn, I should have? Or you always at least gain it, like gather interest?
I don't know. Let's see.
That one person you follow, you're like, damn, she was into me. I should have done it, bro.
I mean, it happens to everybody, but at the end of the day, the marathon continues.
What do you think it was in that situation, though? You talk so much about, shoot your shot, stuff like that. Well, you seem like a pretty confident dude to me. So what was it in that aspect, you think, looking back in that specific situation or situations?
I can't even think of it off the top of the head. I mean, at the age I am now, obviously, you mature, you get older, so you don't think the same way you thought back then. But I honestly can't really think of a situation or say why I did it, but it happened.
He's giving the political answer right there. He's like, I got a girlfriend now. I can't say anything too much. I can't say too much right now. But I know you do have a girl. So where did you meet your girl? I always love hearing these stories of like when people met. How'd you know they're the right one or not?
I definitely met at the gym. Like I think it's good that you meet people doing things that you enjoy doing. So if you like working out, maybe your significant others at the gym. If you like going to church and you're really a God-fearing person and that's top priority for you, then maybe you'll meet your significant other in the church or basketball games. Any activity you enjoy doing, I feel like if you meet them there, then.
You think that going to like Blair and like going to Bryant helped you out, like get outside your comfort zone and get outside like your typical city of Pawtucket and stuff like that? Not your typical, but like your city of Pawtucket. Because some people could get like complacent. They'll meet somebody inside that they went to the same high school with, or they'll just try to make it work. Do you think going to branching out helped you feel comfortable with yourself meeting more people?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. When I first went over there, I really didn't want to talk to anybody. I feel like everybody was so different than me, and I feel like I couldn't relate. So kind of kept to myself. And then me and one of my boys, shout out my boy Kyle, we just would literally just be posted up, like chilling just by ourselves all the time. And then basically I got to a point in the year I was like, yeah, I cannot continue living like this. So I was like, let me just break out of my shell, shake some hands,
You typically the shy guy like at parties or events?
I mean, it was boarding school, so there was definitely no parties, but
I never been to boarding school. I think of boarding school, I think of parties. I don't know why. I think like people like sneaky parties, like like back in St. Ray's, we'd have like those random ass parties in random ass houses. That's what I figured it would be like.
But the random houses is dorms, and there's teachers that live inside the dorm. So it's kind of, you're not really having no parties or nothing like that. Everybody's kind of like locked in and focused on whatever they got going on.
Yeah, so you're saying that I feel like sometimes even like, what I do for business and stuff like that, it's really hard for me to meet people in my line of work. So I'm at that point too now where it's like, all right, where am I gonna start meeting people? And I feel like in Rhode Island, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but it'll be tough for me to meet, I think, people on my level essentially. So it's like, where do I meet these people? And I guess I'm one of those people. I feel weird at the gym, like not trying. I've never been trying. I don't. But I'm like, oh, I don't want to bother this girl in the gym or something like that. I don't want to bother people when they're doing stuff because I don't want to be like that guy. Like you said, like you don't be like that creep. So I don't want to be labeled that creep. So I'm like, where am I going to meet these people? And like you're saying, maybe I'm going to meet them at Celtics games I'm going to, Dolphin games. I feel like I have to be a little bit more, which is weird because I'm a pretty personable dude too. But I just don't want to, I don't know, ever be labeled that dude like doing too much.
Yeah, that's definitely not a label you want on yourself.
So where's like that's the happy medium, like if my Celtics game, Dolphins game, or wherever you said church, just give that quick little interaction. I guess we're getting the pickup tips, the pickup lines from my guy Fredo finisher here.
I don't have no pickup lines. Really just go talk to like a human and talk to her like she's a human, and just like how you would approach somebody, you just want to know if you have mutual interest with them or not. So it's honestly just simple as you going up to them, talking to them.
What was do you remember what you said to your girl?
Listen,
Can't get the secrets out?
I'm one-on-one. So what I do may not work for you. I don't want to put that out there, you feel me?
But if you are going to go into the gym and talk to somebody though, what would what tips would you have?
It's tough because you could calculate the shot, but you can't calculate the exact words that you're going to say. You can't use a recycled something because for the most part, they're going to think there's something corny. So it's really just whatever is present in that moment. Kind of like, how rappers describe, say, like, whatever they're thinking that moment, they just put on a verse and it hit.
Yeah.
It's kind of
like when it's freestyling.
Exactly. You go in there and...
But but you got to look the part, though, at least.
I would definitely suggest looking the park. And if you don't look the park, then shooting within your range.
So shooting your range. So you're saying there's leagues to it, though. Is there leagues to shooting, or is there leagues to shooting like in the like? I guess do you have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? I'm saying, or are you saying there's just leagues in general for dating?
I feel like there's leagues with everything in life, not just that. Like, if she looks like the top, I feel like in every environment you go into, you can see who is the like kind of like the alphas and like the top dogs with females and guys. And there's any situation, whether you're in work, whether when you're in high school and you just walk in the hallway, you can see like, oh yeah, that kid's like the top dog in the school, or like he looks like, feel me, he runs stuff, or like when you go to work, same thing, you see, oh yeah, he's probably one of the bosses. And then like, so I feel like if you feel like you're at that level, then yeah. But if you're not, you still could try your luck, but for the most part, I feel like stay within your range. That's the best success rate.
So you're saying is like, if you're out at Cali and you see Kim K, you shooting your shot, Kim K?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not shooting Kim K. What can I do for Kim K?
No, but I definitely think about that as well. There's definitely one thing I want to touch upon first. You said, and let's do the league stuff first. So you're saying that the aura, like high school and stuff like that, or the presence, did you ever look at yourself like that? Like, were you ever like, I'm that guy? Or do you think you just had it? Because I feel like people come up to me all the time, too, and say that same shit to me. They're like, oh, I always know who you were. And like, oh, like, I didn't think about it like that. I'm not like, oh, I'm Effie, I'm this kid. I think if you have that presence, you just have that. You don't think about it over the top. Did you ever have, like, were you ever that guy to be like, oh, I'm Alfred, I'm that man? Like, I'm that dude. Or you just had that? I feel like you do have it. Did you, like, were you like cocky about it, or you just didn't even think about it?
No, I'm a more humble type of dude. So, but it's also, if you're confident, you can be a confident person and not be cocky and know that like you got it. Like, I guess something similar like what Deion Sanders always preaches, just always believe in yourself and having confidence. I feel that's really important. So,
yeah, man, confidence is key. And one thing I'll touch upon too. So you're saying, I had a conversation about this the other day with one of my boys. off camera, not on the podcast, but we can do it with you, my guy, Club Shay Shay Talk right here. So, do you think that you should, say on first dates, do you think you should have like a go-to script, go-to lines, go-to jokes in certain situations, go-to pickup lines, or your everything, like you said, is freestyling, or you gotta have like a mixture of both?
I feel like you gotta freestyle. You can't go in there scripted because you can only fake to be somebody else for so long until, you know, the truth comes to light. So you might as well go in there being yourself, and you'll waste way less time because you're either gonna be feeling you or not. So I don't really go in there scripted. If you're a person that can just hold a conversation, that's really what it all comes down to. So
yeah, I guess my boy was a fan of the script. He's like, oh, this is what I do, but blah, 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 blah. It's basically like your elevator pitch. I'm like, I get what you're saying, but you're being like a robot at that point. Like, you're really not, it doesn't matter what she says, you're going to say the same shit every single time.
Exactly. You can't be a robot with it.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, my formula is not everybody else's formula, so that might work for him. So maybe he got a high percentage. So
yeah, maybe, or maybe just, you know, a bad situation comes up. He's like, all right, here's my go-to story. Here's my go-to funny story. I'm not gonna lie, but my dad's like that. That's when we go out somewhere. He says the same goddamn jokes to the waitress every time you go out. These girls be laughing every time he says it. Every time he says it, bro, they be like busting out laughing, like not fake laughing either. I'm like, yo, you use this goddamn line every time you go out.
Hey man, a different person heard it and it hit the same. I got his winning formula. I got mine.
Yeah, right. I guess so. So, speaking of like dates and stuff like that, you know, you shot that girl at the gym. It does work. First date. As an athlete, do you think this is a good first date? Would you take your friend? Would you take that girl to one of your friends' pickup games at the YMCA? Men's league, nighttime, outdoor game. You're not playing. You guys are going to be spectators. Do you think this is a good first date?
Absolutely not. Why would you do that? To have her watch the washed up, feel me, dudes in the neighborhood? Absolutely not. You gotta take her somewhere better than that.
I don't even think that's a good first date in high school. Like, maybe a good high school date.
I'm not gonna lie though. Being from Pawtucket, we do have a lot of, like, in high school, that'll kind of be cool because there's always like the Pawtucket summer leagues and the Providence summer leagues, like the basketball leagues. Those are actually kind of fun. And like during the summer, like everybody goes to those. So
I guess the equivalent would be like going to like,
yeah. But as a grown man, no. But in high school, I feel like that'll kind of be a lit link up.
well, I feel like you'd be going to like the Saints basketball game. Like, if you don't play basketball and you're taking to the basketball game, your boy is a starter on the team. I feel like that's less weird. But looking back on it, I'm like, do I really want to take this girl I'm interested in to go watch El Rey drop 25?
Nah.
Like,
Probably not.
probably not. I mean, I think all around it's a bad first date. But so, like, my guy Fredo, what would you recommend for first dates? Our age now, no longer high school talk. You know, we're in our 20s, 30s. We think good first date. So you think like you gotta do the typical Capitol Grill date, or can you go? I've heard that Cafe Nitro is like Tinder in real life now. That's what I'm hearing. But so if I meet some girl at Tinder, if I meet some girl at Cafe Nitro, I don't even drink coffee. I might start going to the spot though. Meet a girl there. Is a coffee a good first date? Is, Top Golf? What do you think is a good first date in the Rhode scene right now, or Northeast, or anywhere pretty much?
I feel like those can be scripted. You can have like a couple places in your back pocket that always hit.
100%.
Or you can also freestyle and through the conversation you have with her, figure out what she's interested in. So you take her to either like, she's interested, if she's a sit down type, take her to a restaurant like that. Or if she's more of like the fun active person, you could take her to do like activity. So
our guy ACSC Alex, he said he's taking a girl to the track for the first date. He's trying to see what she runs in the 100.
Yeah, and she's gonna run away from him. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it might hit sometime. Maybe she's a track star, so it'll hit. There's no one solid formula. But
he said he wanted to see our highlight tape.
Hey, I heard Ocho Cinco say that, and it's for good reason because some people have 2 left feet, so he's trying to breed the next Alex Cortellessa. I respect it.
How about you? Is fitness a thing? Fitness and athletics a thing for you? Like, does she have to be into fitness, or does she have to be into athletics? Is that a deal breaker for my guy Fredo _fitness? You stick it to your brand?
Oh yeah, I do. I make my girl work out every single day, like whether she wants to or not. So.
You think you're making her?
Nah, she does. She wants to on her own, but sometimes people need that extra nudge.
So if a girl, like, if you met a girl and you end up realizing she's just not gonna work out, she's not gonna go to the gym, she's not even gonna do cardio, that's a no-go. You're not even gonna entertain the idea.
If she's not willing to go, then no. But for the most part, people all want to be healthy. So if you like teach them about it, well, for the most part, they end up being with it.
Hey, I would hypothetically like to agree with that. I think it's a good thought, but I don't think everyone's like that though. I think everyone likes the idea of being healthy. They like the idea of a good guy. You know, they like the idea. They don't want toxic, but people like toxic and people don't like working out.
That's a whole fact.
So I think people like the fantasy, you know? People like to fucking think they want something, but when it comes down to it, they're going to come up with excuses. And my guy, Fredo Fitness, we'll get into this later on, I don't think he deals with excuses.
Don't do excuses. Make it happen.
Hey, we definitely get to that in the fitness talk. We wrap up the dating scene talk right here. So she wants to do Capital Grill. There's no budging about that. Red flag for my guy Fredo.
Said no budget.
Like she's not budging. We're not going on no goddamn fucking. I'm not hitting the track with your ass. We're not even doing no goddamn cycling ride. We're going to Capital Grill. And if you ain't paying for Capital Grill, I ain't going.
I mean, she says it like that, it's a dub. But if she just suggests that she wants to go to Capital Grill, then if that's her body, then if you're with it, then you could take her. And if you're not, go talk to somebody else. That's it.
So you know, most people like you don't deal into like you don't get to like the mind games of like, oh, this girl's a gold digger, this girl's at me for my money. You're just like, you know what, this isn't for me. On to the next one. There's someone for her.
Sometimes that's just how life is. Like a lot of people are fight to change people, but if she's telling you like, yo, like if you're not taking me to Capital Grill, then it's quiet for you. It's on you to decide whether that's what you want to deal with or not. And
yeah. I feel like I get sometimes where I'm like, there was a point in my life, I feel like recently, like very recently, I just come to the conclusion that people aren't going to change for the most part. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, people are going to get on my vibe. People are going to get on my level. Maybe I can drag them up to my level. Kind of like what Luka was doing this NBA Finals. He was trying to drag his players, and they weren't reaching his level. So when you try to drag people, it's not going to work for the most part. And for a lot of my adult life and I will say like teenage life, I was trying to drag people with me. And I was just wasting time. I'm trying to change this person. I'm trying to get them to be what I want them to be. And it's just not working. I feel like I've wasted so much time trying to do that type of shit. Like I want them to be like this ideal person, and I'm just wasting my fucking time. And then I'll overthink it. I'm like, oh, this, like the Capital Girl thing. I'm like, oh. And then I'll get in my own head. I'm like, oh, she's at me for my money, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm just wasting time instead of going on to the next one, like you're saying. Like I just have to deal with this, how the person is. If I don't like it, I guess we just aren't the one. And sometimes, like, you know, I'll fucking overthink and I'll be like, God damn, like, I thought she was the one or whatever. And then I'll, you know, like I'm doing right now, talking too much about it. That's all I'll do. I'll overthink the fuck out of it.
Listen, sometimes in life you just gotta trust people to be themselves. So whether that's a positive thing or a negative thing, especially as old as we are, people are like, all the actions are like repetitive. Like they always act a similar way in most situations. So once you learn that, you can't really be mad at them for doing what they do.
So you think at the end of the day, if she were a gold digger, the truth's gonna come to light at some point, and she's gonna show her true colors.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, and then it's on you to either cut it off or stick it up.
You know, Golf Camera talking about that quote you had. Everything's your fault.
Everything's your fault. That's 100% a fact. Everything. If you have that mindset in life, you can avoid like almost like 90-95% of situations. Like it was, what's the book called? It was like the 10, I believe, mindsets of the world's wealthiest people. I think it's by Alex Becker. I may be wrong on that, but he basically explained the story where it was like there was a guy, he like served a lot in his church. He might even been a pastor. And his daughter went to some sleepover, and basically there was a really busy road because he was going to go pick her up. But there's a really busy road, and he knew that a lot of people like drive junk over there, but it'll be faster to get home. And then there was another road that was gonna take a little bit longer. Like it was the back roads, but he chose to take the quicker route. And once he went and picked up his daughter on his way back, somebody hit them. A drunk driver hit them, and they both died. And the book basically said the harsh reality is it was his fault because he chose to take that route. So if you can apply that mindset to, obviously that's a tragic situation, but if you can apply that mindset to just about everything in life, you'll be like way better off and way more successful.
For sure. And like, bringing it back to my example, if I think she's a gold digger, she shows her light that she is a gold digger, and I continue dating her, it is my fault. At the end of the day, I can't blame her. She showed me her true colors already. She showed me she wants that Capital Grill. She wants to go on 5-star resort vacations, and I'm putting up with it. It's my fault, not her fault.
That's a fact.
Man, and a lot of people like to play the game like, oh, how did I see it, bro? You were just blinded. You wanted to just settle down quickly. And that's, bro, I'm at a fucking, coach dating. My dating coach right here, my guy Fredo. It's like so tough because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be alone, but then I also don't want to fucking just bend over and just take the first person that comes my way. That's what I don't want to be complacent. Oh yeah, I want to be this girl just to say I have a girlfriend now, and that's what I don't want to do. So sometimes I feel like I can be like too undecided as well. What ending the dating scene talk. What would be your advice to someone in my shoes?
Freestyle, be free floating, meet people in environments you like, get to know them, figure out if they're your type or not, and if they're your type, pursue it, and if it doesn't work, keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing. My guy right here, plain black tee, but rocking it nice with my guy. He's just chain right here. So basically what I'm saying, he's a fly guy right here. So is fashion a deal breaker for you? Is fashion a deal breaker for my guy, Fredo Fitness? Or his ideal one?
I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker because I feel like throughout my life there's a lot of times when I was around people that couldn't afford things. So it's kind of like you haven't be able to afford really nice clothes, or you haven't just, it's kind of like a mindset. Like some people just prioritize having really nice things, so it just might not be someone's priority, but that doesn't make them a good person. So.
And
obviously, you want them to be well put together, but if they're not dripped in Louis, Dior, all that type of stuff, that really doesn't matter.
It really depends on like the person, how they rock it.
Yeah.
Because some people can you can look great in a black tee, and then some person can have like a long V-neck too much, and the collar's all messed up. And you're like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Yeah. What the hell are you doing? But I'm not sure if you follow League Fits. I like doing this with guys who are into fashion or anybody in the podcast. We got some fits right here. Let's get some rankings from my guy, Fredo Fitness, right here. So top 15 best dressed NBA players of all time. They got Magic 15. I never thought Magic Johnson was a good dresser, to be completely honest.
Yeah, he was before my time. I mean, we also only seen him dressed like, like a grown, like all suits and stuff like that.
Well, first of all, they got Tim Duncan, 14th.
Oh, that one, I can say that list is not accurate.
What would you rank Magic Johnson's fit in this picture?
Honestly, he's from a time before my time, so it's like hard to judge. And from what I heard, Magic Johnson had he was that guy. So you feel me? He
can do what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim Duncan, that outfit.
That one's not it.
Awful.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker on here. You like PJ Tucker, Sal? What would you rank this fit for PJ Tucker? The red one.
It's not my type, but that doesn't mean it's not fly. He's definitely I always hear him talked about like one of the flyer dudes in the league, and he has like the craziest shoe games. So I wouldn't say it's my type, but that also doesn't mean it's not it.
How are you a fan with sneakers as like a suit?
I feel like it depends on the sneakers, but with those, it's honestly not my type. But honestly, like I said, that doesn't mean it's not it.
What are you ranking this fit right here? 0 out of 10.
For me, you gotta say for me.
For you.
Like, when I say 1 out of 10, I also say you're not allowed to use 7.
Bro.
7. So 1 out of 10.
That's the new rule, mine too. You can't use 7.
Yeah.
No 7s.
I would say like a 5 or 6.
I agree with that fit. Plus, it's not ironed. I don't know what the fuck. I don't like Jordan's style for the most part.
Yeah, Jordan was definitely. I mean, then again, we're seeing him dressed as a 50-year-old man. So but I never really heard of Michael Jordan be considered like a fly person.
Yeah, this list and non-league fit's kind of weird. No, I don't like that. It's like, for me, this fits like a fucking 3 out of 10.
You're talking about
Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Kuzma, don't get me fucking started on Kyle Kuzma. This guy. You a Kuzma fan for his dress?
Kuzma's one of those people, like I said, he's not my type, but he's one of those, like, interesting, like you know.
Bro, look at this
he dabbles
purple
into
fit.
The feminine side of clothes, too. So he's definitely not my type, but that don't mean he's not it. Like, there's a whole genre of, like, I feel like people who are interested in that type of stuff.
This pink fit. For you.
No.
What are you giving this?
I'm not wearing that. It's like a 3. I don't know.
A 3?
A 3 or 4.
Bro, I think it's like a 1. That shit is gross.
Not rock.
All right, I'm not even liking this fucking list right now. Let's get some other ones. Let's get to your boy. What do you think of my guy JT's fit? I like JT's style. What are you rocking this fit right here?
That specific fit, just like a 6.
There's multiple angles of this fucking GT fit.
I don't really care too much for the cardigan.
I can't picture you being a cardigan guy. I don't know who. I don't even know who this is, but what are you rocking this fit? What are you rating this fit right here? Okay, I don't know what that picture is. Not your style, right?
Nah, not really my type.
So, what do you think is your type in league fit? I can picture you rocking this right here.
Nah, not my type. I'm not a flared bottoms type of guy at all.
So what are you rocking still? Are you still rocking like fitted, like tight jeans, skinny jeans, or what are you rocking for jeans now? If you're not a flare bottom guy.
Yeah, I'm rocking like either regular skinnies or like the baggy cargo type of thing.
What do you think about this? What is your thoughts on the
Ski mask?
Ski mask. Are you a ski mask fan?
Because I coach these high school kids, know like they abuse it. Like they wear a ski mask like to sleep. Go watch that ski mask. Like they have it on 24/7.
Bro, they'll probably wear it out to a first date.
Like I said, I'm more of a calm fit type of dude. Like you see me in a black tee, I wear like maybe shorts that pop and a clean pair of shoes, or like more simpler looks. Like I'm not really into the kind of like the new school like flared bottoms and all that type of stuff.
Damn, you said the new school. You become an old head?
I feel like it's the new like wave of fashion. So yeah, I guess if you want to call me old head, whatever you want to consider me. It's not my type.
Any of your players ever call you old head?
It's getting there because I'm almost 10 years out of high school now. So.
Yeah, so in the old head conversation, who do you picking, Kendrick or Drake?
I'm not gonna lie, the better artist overall is Drake, but Kendrick definitely bodied him.
Bro, all right. What do you mean by bodied? We're about to get into a fucking debate on this. First take on this. What would you define bodied?
They're still bumping that song till today.
Yeah, but you think it's a great diss track? It is a good catchy song. I will say that.
It's doing like when like Biggie and Tupac, like when they were
Hit him up.
Yeah, like it's doing like how we still listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the type of impact it kind of.
But like the context of the song were not like, first of all, they were not even true, and on top of it, it was the corniest shit. Like the 69 got at the end. I think that was the corniest shit. Don't get me wrong, it is catchy. It's definitely the best song he dropped of it. But I think it's pretty like mutual. I think it's pretty like, I think Drake, the best diss track overall was definitely Family Matters. In my opinion, overall diss track and that entire beef was Drake. But the most played song right now is definitely, not Like Us. Definitely catchy ass song.
What makes it the top diss track though?
Overall, it was like the delivery of it. And it was more factual. I'm sure he lied some stuff shit too. But like he set him up again too. Like he took the bait on that shit. So I think as an overall beef song, like in rap battle, I think it's a better rap battle song. But yes, Kendrick's Not Like Us is definitely the catchier song.
Right, man.
I don't think he bodied him. I mean, I don't think it's like a Pusha T Drake. Pusha T definitely beat Drake. Like there's no debating that. I think there's at least a debate to be had with the Kendrick and Drake.
Oh,
He's coming out of Date Trail. You're rocking it.
Listen, you're gonna hear a Date Trail before you hear whatchamacallit, Drake song.
Oh, you're not gonna hear that shit. You're definitely hearing Not Like Us, 100%. But you think that just automatically means you won?
Listen, if it's doing numbers like that, you know who the streets is saying, what the people are saying.
Oh, bro, tomorrow, Juneteenth Day, everyone's going to be rocking that shit in the YouTube stream. He's having that concert.
Listen. Oh,
Yeah, shit. So, one last question for the League Fit shit. Sorry, do you think AirPods, well, any headphones, wired are making a comeback? Are you a wired headphones guy? Apparently, they're making the wave back. I don't fucking see how that's making a wave back.
I have like the beats that you wrap around your ear, but I just keep the wire because I like taking it out and just hanging it around my neck. So I just have the ones that like connect here but not connect to the phone.
It's the old head of me. Well, I guess the new head of me. I don't want to have the wired attached to my fucking pocket, bro. I used to hit my damn neck all the time. She was the fucking worst. But shit, what was I about to do? So let's pull this up. So in pop culture, being the new head, memes obviously the new thing right here. This, I guess, and speaking on the first date thing too. I gotta pull this up right here. Is this a thing? Is it a thing for you, or when you were single? Maybe even now, if your girlfriend asks you on a date, like, oh, hey, Fredo, let's go out to Capitol Grill. Is this a thing? Now you got a haircut. I don't got a haircut. I'm not going out.
No, I'll throw a hat on before I don't just.
This one says when you lock your eyes with a baddie, but your fade expired 2 days ago.
No, I feel that, but honestly, I get haircuts like every week. So,
I'm always with you. I'm like, if I'm gonna go somewhere, why wouldn't I just put a hat on?
Yeah, exactly. I'll put a hat on, but you always gotta keep a fresh cut, like at least every week or a week and a half. Just especially if you're like always with people or doing something that requires you to.
You think if you're single, haircut's a must in the dating scene? It's like keeping up.
You gotta keep. What's the word? I was gonna say maintenance. No.
Keep your appearance.
Yeah, self-care has to be up.
Oh.
Like, go wash your armpits, wash your clothes. You feel me? Take good showers. Know how to brush your teeth, floss, like all that type of stuff.
So I feel like if you ain't doing that shit, don't be surprised if you're not getting dates.
Yeah, exactly. Like, clean up how you look.
What's your thoughts about this? Did you see this shit? The guy who paid $1,100 to take a picture with Chris Brown like this.
He's crazy. $1,100 for a picture.
You ain't doing that shit ever?
Absolutely not. Take a picture with Chris Brown, $11,000 or $1,100. Impossible. Chris Brown is lit though, but I'm not.
Bro, absolutely not.
Picture of him holding hands.
He's like doing like doing the Dragon Ball Z pose of Chris Brown.
He's crazy.
Oh, I better answer this question. I don't know what Matt Rand or Jrue asked this question, but I'll ask: are men still wearing ripped jeans?
Super.
You wearing ripped jeans?
Yeah. What is he talking? What is Jrue like? When has he ever been considered like fly?
Never. I didn't. It's the start of World Star. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring shit up because talking about fashion.
The third comment, Jrue's still relevant.
Who the fuck cares about what Jrue thinks at a time like this? The Chappelle quote.
And the other one, grown men worrying about other men clothing choices is crazy. Exactly.
Do you think that's the thing? So like even like I guess touching back on the dating scene or anything in life, should you be worrying about what other people think of you anyway?
I mean, if you're not a bad person, no. So I don't really ever concern myself too much with the thoughts of others because I know I don't move in ill will and I'm a good person. So if you're not moving like that, then I guess you'll care more.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I guess you'll care more. Saying you're a good dude and stuff like that. So have you always been like that guy that people come to seek advice? I was asking about my dating life, asking my guy coach, dating coach Fredo for some tips. Have you always been that guy where people come to you for like, advice in life, dating, their new job? Like it seems like, football. Have you been that guy people always gravitate towards when they have like a, anything going on in life?
If they know I've been through it, or I think they also, I feel like it does happen, and maybe they come to me because I'm more of I don't ever really hit the panic button. So whatever they tell me, I usually have the ability of helping them think through it and just simplifying whatever they're going through as much as possible. So I think that's why they kind of, I would say, never hit the panic button ever.
What do you think? You got that from? Because a lot of people, I feel like I'm a pretty calm dude too, and I never, for the most part, maybe besides I guess dating scene I can go sometimes, maybe think left sometimes. But, for the most part, I'm a pretty calm guy, and I feel like people around me go to like 100. Where do you feel like you got that from, where you can just stay level-headed and like stay calm at all times and not, be a positive dude when even things are going negative for you?
I think I got it from basic.
Whoops, blooper. That shit almost went in my mouth, bro. No homo. No Diddy, bro. No Diddy.
I think I got it from when I was younger. I feel like I used to have like quick, I don't call it temper, but I would get mad really easily, and then I remember it just would get me in trouble, and just always like I would snap quick. So now one day I was like, yo, I just can't let stuff get to me like that. Literally just me sitting down with myself, like, yo, you gotta relax, like you can't be doing that all the time. And then I just suppressed my emotions like a lot, and then
You think that's good though?
uh, it's not perfect. So I obviously have. I feel like compared to others, I have a lack of emotion, but it honestly, it's everybody is the way they are because of what their experiences in life. So
It comes like with like the pros and the cons, like
yeah,
of
everything comes with
yourself.
pros and cons, exactly. So
What do you think is? What do you think has helped you in life though?
when you say helped me, what do you mean?
I guess like having no emotion. Do you think it helps you get over things quicker? And so you don't like I said, like in the dating scene, sometimes I can overthink stuff. Like, oh, why was she into this? Why was she into that? Why didn't it work out? Start reading back text threads. Oh, I should have said this instead of that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, maybe it could take me a couple of days to get over something, maybe a week or so. Do you think that's helping you with the no emotions? You're, giving back what you said. You think that helps you just power through things and not, overthink like I'm doing?
I don't want to say no emotion because that sounds mad cool. But I guess having I don't call it suppressed emotion either. It's really just being able to have control of your emotions. So just thinking logically about every situation that you're in and not letting your emotion always get involved. Obviously, you're a human and you should get your emotions involved in certain situations, but just for the most part, always thinking logically and not with your emotions.
I guess, but do you also agree though? Like, do you think that you're not overthinking situations? Like, even back, at least from my knowledge, the worst thing probably happened to you, at least sports wise, was being the favorites your senior year at Saints. Everyone had the guys that's you guys win Super Bowl, then you guys lose in the first round. For most people, like me, like a devastating blow. Are you overthinking that loss, or are you just next thing? What's going on? Where am I going to college? You don't even care about that loss. You're not dwelling on it at least.
Definitely feel like I've been through way more, I guess, difficult situations when I was in college. But to go back to that time in high school is kind of like, damn, we lost. I made y'all sick about it that day, and then it's kind of like, all right, so where are we going to school next year? What we about to do?
I'm saying so. For you, it's easy to get over situations where other people can dwell on it for a while. I guess.
Yeah, I would say it's easier for me, but you just accept that feeling in that point in time, and then figure out what's next and how you get to that next level.
So you've never caught yourself like day to a week later, a month later, you're not thinking about no situations in any aspect of your life.
You're grinding to get to the next one. It's just like how like you see coaches like Bill Belichick and Coach Mazzulla always talking about like next play mentality. So it's kind of like whatever happened. You think obviously in life is you have more time to think about it than play, but it's kind of like you accept what happened.
Damn.
Whatever you did, you accept the consequences, whatever came with it, and then you keep it pushing so you get better.
Damn, even in relationships, like a situation went wrong with a girl situationship, you ain't dwelling on that shit. You ain't drunk texting her at 5 a.m. off some Henny.
Nah.
Nothing, bro. It's done. It's done. You ain't crying about nothing.
You can't cry about it. You gotta keep it pushing. There's stuff in life you gotta worry about. Whether you gotta take care of your parents, whether you gotta take care of your kids, whether you gotta pay your house off or do whatever you gotta do. This marathon continues.
Damn. That's crazy. See, there's no point. So yours always just positive, dude, 24/7.
Listen, my brain, my mentality is made out of vibranium, so you can't just always be, flipping out and, just losing control of your mental. Always got to be locked in. That's it.
Yeah, so you've never been depressed over a grade. You never listened to that fucking breakup playlist for a week during a workout or some shit?
Absolutely not.
Damn, absolutely not.
For a week, nah. No way.
That's crazy. I feel like a lot of people I know. I'm not talking about myself neither. I call myself a couple times, but I feel like some people, they be, coming over, they be crying. Not crying, you can tell they're upset. We'll have a couple of drinks together. They hit me up the next week, they're still crying about it. People like that. Are you open to people like that in life? Like, say for me, if I was broken up with a girl and I talk about it with you one time, next week we hang out, I talk about it again. The week after that, I talk about it again. Are you getting annoyed since you're not like that?
I feel like I'm consistent with how I am. So if anybody that usually goes through a situation, they come to me because they want to hear a certain answer or they want to hear like the hard, honest truth. So it's kind of what is to be expected when they ask me those type of questions or when they bring those things up to me. They want to hear what they know I'm gonna say. So I don't really, and like you said, when you trust someone to be themselves. So most of my people around me trust me to be myself. So if they're bringing a situation to me like that.
So they're expecting the hard, honest truth. They're not going to want you to like console them.
Yeah.
And you think that translates to like the fitness life as well, like the fitness and coaching life where,
I mean, also you should, like I said, don't let me sit here and tell everybody to be a hard, tough dude and like mad tough and have no emotions. That's definitely not it. You should have both. But you just have to know when to, rub somebody on the back versus, push them in the back.
For sure. And like, having that, I guess that sounds like, you're coaching them through stuff like that. So, when you said people coming to you for advice, how do you think that transition was from like being, I guess, the guy people come to you for advice, from being that, great player when you were playing at Bryant to now transitioning to like the fitness and the coaching life and, unlicensed therapist life as well? Like, how do you think you're helping out people like that? Like, 'cause coaching isn't for everybody. Like one of your idols, Kobe, said in an interview one time that he couldn't be coaching because he couldn't, he just wouldn't be able to translate his thoughts onto the next person properly. So how do you think you're transitioning to like the coaching and, coaching for fitness and for football life?
Kobe said that, but he doesn't know that there would be a lot of people that would pay like a lot of money or would be so interested in learning from him just because they knew the level of greatness that they'll be able to achieve if they can pick his brain. So it's kind of how I am with the fitness stuff. Like a lot of people are like interested in picking my brain or they want to come to me because they know that I don't really care who they are. I'm going to put them to work and, kind of just hold them to a certain standard. So it's kind of like people look for that. So it's really just surrounding yourself by people that are looking for that or being part of like organizations like, for instance, Breakthrough. Like they're not coming to Breakthrough to be like a second fiddle team. They're going to chase, the national championships and stuff like that. So it's kind of just surrounding yourself with that type of environment.
Facts, man. But how are you dealing with like people's expectations? You don't have someone come up to you being like, "Hey, man, I want to be the next great in the NFL. Derrick Henry's my guy. I want to be the next Derrick Henry." How do you deal with people like that?
Honestly, just being honest with them. Like you can tell anybody the truth and without being like rude or like always being like brutal with the delivery. So you can tell somebody like, this is what. I guess in that situation, this is what college level you're kind of like your build and your ability will be able to get you to. And if you work extra hard, this is the level that you'll be able to creep into.
And then, like, again, like that's your thoughts too. Like before we went live, we were watching the Tease game and, I was like, oh, Derrick White is crazy how he was D2 and now he's a key contributor for the best team in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. So how do your word isn't the end all be all neither though. Like that you can give them your assessment, but you'll be gladly proven wrong because someone can make it to the league. If you tell, hey, you're a D2 guy, you're open to that guy proving you wrong, being like, nah, I'm a D1 player, and then he shows you.
Of course, I'm not God. I can give you my opinion just so you can get your opinion from anyone else. And at the end of the day, it's on you to decide what you're gonna do with it and how far you're gonna take it, how far you're gonna push yourself, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, even you, I'm sure, like, coming out of Rhode Island, people put those expectations on you, and you prove people wrong.
Oh, yeah. I remember I had a counselor when I was in boarding school. He kept trying to tell me to look at knapsack schools, like the D3 league, which is really good schools. No shade to anybody there, but I was like, I'm not going D3. I don't feel like I'm a D3 player. I feel like I put in the necessary amount of work, and I had a certain type of build that was that of a Division One football player. So kept trying to preach to me that I was like, yeah, I hear you, but honestly, I appreciate it, and I'm just not going D3. It's not for me. And I used to read that text over and over and over again. So
Not dwelling on it, but using it as motivation. That's the difference.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, and now, obviously, you said you're building stuff like that. I see on your Instagram page, we will be pulling up randomly if you in 2 seconds, is your fitness page. And recently, I feel like when I've been doing a little bit of slight homework, because again, these podcasts are not pre-scripted. But when I was going through this, some like slight, what has changed in Fredo Fitness's life, is where we're touching base again. One of these posts over here is a lot of like nutrition now. So obviously, you always had the look, but do you think something nutrition is more like one of your main focuses now recently, since you started with the Fredo Fitness?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've been looking more into it, just because I know is like your abs, which is what most people want, or the front back is all built in the kitchen. So it's, a lot of people are willing to do the work, but they'll put themselves right back at square one because they're not eating right. So just me trying to level up the knowledge that I have, and is also me trying to level up myself as a fitness instructor to be able to give people the game.
Yeah, I know. Like we touching base off cam. When we're talking about how Ocean will be capping when he'd be like, "Nah, nutrition doesn't matter. I eat McDonald's every day." Did you think you kind of call yourself in that situation where you're giving people the wrong impression of what you're eating? I know before, back in the day, you're like, "Oh, you didn't say it didn't matter, but you weren't like preaching nutrition, kind of like how you are now." Do you think you were just translating that message wrong to people sometimes? Maybe they thought you were like, "Oh, he's like, you eat whatever you want, so I'm gonna have Domino's tonight." Just what you were eating before is different than what they were thinking.
I don't know if they were just reading the situation wrong, because I feel like even though I always preach to eat what you want, I always chose healthy options. So it was like eating what you want, but I was selecting, I always ate fruits. I always did that type of thing. So I believe when they heard eat what you want, they may have seen it as, eating this, that, and the third. But it's also hard to tell what people are doing behind the scenes. So you could be, I could be saying, yeah, eat what you want, or someone like Ultra Cinco saying, yeah, eat what you want, but he also doesn't drink at all. He doesn't smoke at all. He's going to run, once or twice a day. He's going to lift once or twice a day. So it's like he's working out in a whole entire week. He's probably worked out 18 times. So I know they say you can't really outwork a bad diet, but there are people who are genetically blessed. So
like DK Metcalf.
Yeah, exactly. DK Metcalf, like you said, I watched the DK Metcalf interview, and he says that
capping, bro.
Yeah, daily he eats like a bag of candy and a coffee. But bro, the thing is, genetics are a huge part. There's like people who are just genetically blessed, so they may have a little more of a boost or a cheat code than you. Like if you guys ate the same exact thing for a week, they could probably still run faster than you, be more conditioned and stuff like that. Just how the cookie crumbles.
Man, like you said, genetics too. Like I'm not Derrick Henry. I'm not 6'2". Yeah. I don't have 235 pounds to work with. They do. Like I can't. And I'm 235. I'm gonna be 1, roided up, or 2, fat as shit. There's no in between for me. I'm not gonna just become 235 out of nowhere. So it's definitely a lot. So now,
definitely about genetics and just knowing your body.
100%. That's why there comes to my guy Brandon Ifia. This is Brandon Ifia right now. So train my guy Fredo. Your journey starts today. So with this, the training includes the group training, one-on-one personal training, and diet nutrition. Yes, so they get the whole shebang when they come to see my guy.
Super. Come get right.
Yeah. Anybody?
Get fit and stay fit. We're not just trying to get fit. We're trying to stay there.
What do you think is tougher, getting fit or staying?
Staying fit, because anybody can be willing, or people are more willing to put in pain for let's say if they're in a 8-week program or 6-week program, a lot of people are more willing to do that. But then they're like, all right, now that you're not in a program, now that you got the results, you went to the birthday party you were trying to go to, you went to the resort or a vacation you're trying to go to, now what happens? Are you gonna eat like terrible that whole trip, come back and not really exercise because you got all the pictures you wanted, or are you gonna, maintain that? So it's kind of, I would say, making fitness a lifestyle is definitely the tougher part.
What tips would you have for anybody like that? I guess, or tip like that, or anybody who who was a high school athlete. They were in good shape back in the day. They fell off, and now they're kind of just lost. They're lost, or they got those pictures and they fell off, and now they feel lost again. You're back in the same position regardless. Kind of the same person.
What advice I would have for them?
Yeah, or just motivation to get your ass back in the gym, see Fredo Fitness.
Follow me on Instagram. That's the motivation. Also, it's just, your health is your wealth. Use the mirror as motivation. If you don't like what you see, it's not like a lot of people just sit there and get depressed about it, but you can go do something, start eating healthy, and there doesn't have to be something like crazy that makes you want to start. It literally just can be like, start today. You don't have to wait for the next holiday, wait for the next weekend, like wait for the next event and start today.
Yeah, I mean, this your new video, your promo video, I think dropped this a couple of days ago. I guess you're motivated still. Like, what's your motivation to keep looking like this and staying built? Because you're pretty, you've been like this for as long as I can remember. So, what has been like your motivation to continue staying at it and helping other people out?
Honestly, when you have a passion for something, when it's not really, when you say you have a passion for something, it's not really a job. So I just enjoy, making people feel better about themselves. I enjoy training and pushing my body to, new levels. I enjoy the way I look. I enjoy, the way it feels to be able to, some people can't walk upstairs and stuff like that. Like, I enjoy being able to move my body how I would like to. So
you don't have any goals? Like, you don't want to do like any 5Ks or like competitions or anything like that?
Honestly, I'm competitioned out. When I play football.
Oh, for sure.
I was most competitive person ever, but I don't really.
You wouldn't want to go into like a bodybuilding competition or even like a weight training competition?
Honestly, it's like I just want to get fit and stay fit. I don't care to put. There was a point in time where I cared to put 500 pounds on my back. Don't care to do it anymore. It doesn't do nothing for me. Same thing with like benching, like the 400 or whatever. Like, I did it just to see if I could do it, but it's not something I want to do to like compete.
How about when people come up to you with those goals? They're like, hey, I want to bench 400 by the end of the year. I want to squat 550. I seen you do it back in the day. I seen a clip of you doing that Saints. Mm-hmm. I want to get to your status. Are you trying to talk them out of it, or you're like, all right, let's attack it. Let's get to that goal.
Every goal that someone has is possible. You just have to break it down. Like, all right, if you want to be able to bench 400, you might not be able to hit it by the end of this year, but I could teach you techniques that will help you get closer to that goal and let you know how long it will take. And then just once they start getting that far, maybe they might not hit the goal of 400, but they reached a new high that they never reached before. So then, sometimes that's just your ceiling. So
yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, you talking positivity the entire time, kind of a point of emphasis the past couple talking points. I know you went to Saints, but I seen this post recently. Palms 118-24, embracing each day with joy. Are you tapping more into like the spirituality side of yourself recently?
I always went to church my whole entire life. I always went to a Catholic school. Always prayed outside of just obviously the mandatory that would make you do in school or going to church with your parents. Always prayed on my own. So it's something I always kind of been tapped into. Maybe I'm just showing it more on Instagram, but definitely something I always that has always been a part of my life.
Do you think that you need to actually go to a physical church to be in touch and in tune with your spirituality?
No, I don't think so. Spirituality, going to church is religious, so anything religious is just something that you do repetitively. So it doesn't really have to go, because some people go to church and don't follow any of the rules or any of the preachings or kind of anything that goes on other than to go to church so that they feel like they did something. But it's all about what you're doing out of church and just, loving everybody like they're your brother or loving them like they're yourself. It's really what it's about. So.
Yeah. No, man, I definitely agree with that. I feel like I've fallen off recently, but I've always been in touch with like my spirituality, but definitely I feel like I should have touched more. Again, like I said, I kind of asked that because I haven't been to church in a while. And I feel like sometimes you can get like shamed, I guess. Like, my dad's like, oh, you're not going to go to church? I'm like, I don't think you need to go to church to be tapped in, though.
Yeah, I feel you definitely don't have to go, but it's good to, because if you're not reading the Bible and stuff like that on your own, it's good to, because if you read the Bible by yourself, you'll notice that they're using some like either it's complex language or it's from like Latin translation, so it's hard for you to understand. So if you can go to church and you meet a bunch of people who are on the same journey as you, and you know, hear the pastor preach about what the actual like verses are about, and it can relate to you. It can relate to you, and then it could, you know, be a fresh start to your week. And I just feel like it's a good place to go where you can meet people who are on the same journey as you, and kind of just. I feel like it may not help you personally get closer to God, but it's something that some people use to do that. So.
Yeah, I got to tap in. Where do you go when you go to church? When you go to church, I'm not sure how often you go, but
yeah, I try to go every Sunday. I go to Awakening in Smithfield. I feel like it's a younger crowd, and it's different from like the traditional church that I used to go to, where like everybody had to kind of dress up. Like you can go, and they make it just so easy for you to go to church. Like it's almost like you have no reason not to. It's like the services are 8 a.m. Like I think it's like 8, 10, 11, and 11:45. Like there's so many options to go, and then you don't have to dress up. Like I wouldn't, you know, it's not about that. But
I've heard good things about it.
People that go in like sweatpants and hoodied up.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I wouldn't do that, but
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
God accepts you any way you are, so it literally gives you no reason not to go.
My boy Bo, he played at Framingham State. He had a whole like religion. It was not planned, as you know, but he talked about he went to a Baptist church, so like that had like the Holy Ghost and stuff like that. Did you have that like growing up? Or you were part of those churches? Were they?
Nah, my parents were Episcopal, so they were. It's almost like the same thing as being Catholic.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation about the Holy Ghost. It was crazy. Like, bro, people would go there and they would literally pass out. Like, I'm like, I didn't understand. I thought that was like a joke when they had that like, in like, movies. He's like, nah, it's not a joke, bro. Like, people would literally pass out.
It's definitely not a joke. So yeah, they're for real.
That's crazy. Yeah. That'd be entertaining, at least. That'd be a whole situation over there. But yeah, I mean, we're right here on your fitness page. Any last words you want to give out? Anything you want to touch upon? Any post right here? Or you just want to get any last minute, plugs for your fitness page?
Shout out to cameraman, my boy Jordy. He always kills the game. But yeah, other than that, just we're getting fit and we're staying fit. Not just this summer, it's this fall, this winter, next year, all the time. You know, just come lock in, and get your mind right. You
want to give your link too for your Fredo?
Oh yeah, if you click the link in my bio, you can join now at FredoFitness.com.
There it is.
It's on the screen. /join now. So yeah, just fill out your name, fitness goals, and just give me a little information about yourself, and we can go from there.
I love him at Tap Dance right underneath him right now. That was the dating, the fitness. Now let's get to your hatred of Jason Tatum. This guy right here. Is it a thing? This is a generally serious question. I feel like I've heard people talk about this before. Is there a thing amongst the light skins versus the dark skins with, within the black community? Because it seems like you got some hate towards the light skinned brother Jason Tatum right here.
No, I don't have any hate towards Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was a great player. I just want him to, like, how he played in, like, I believe, what game was it?
This game 5 of this series. So, for those who are diehard fans of the EG Pot of Thunder, on the Spotify, on the podcast audio platforms, there is an audio version that we dropped last week. Speaking of our predictions of the finals, with the technology nowadays, you couldn't even tell it was a different episode. But the finals have ended, and Jason Tatum did not get MVP. Jaylen Brown did, like my guy Fredo over here predicted last week. So, I'm not sure if he's laughing right now because he got the prediction correct. The Light Skins did not win. So, I'm not sure if you're talking about Game 5. Game 5, he did go off. He almost had a triple-double, 2 rebounds away. Game 2, he did not play a good Game 2. He was fucking so terrible. He's shooting-wise. Everything else, he was efficient. But his shooting efficiency, he was awful. And then Game 3, he was good. And then Game 4, the entire team sucked. Yeah. So you're saying you want that energy from Game 3 and Game 5?
Yeah, I want him to play like and it's not just scoring, but it's like you can tell. So the way he played in Game 5 was like he wanted it. Like he wanted to close out the series. He was being the top dog. Like I love when Jason Tatum plays like that. That's when it's like I respect that, and I feel like he plays like that a lot during the regular season. But then when it comes to the postseason, he goes from that to trying to be a role player. Like what I just don't like is, all right, so if you're gonna be that guy, then be that guy every single time. Don't be that guy and then sometimes be like, oh, I'm just being a role player. Like what I didn't like when you went and ask people like how did he play in Game 2, the real Jason Tatum fans, like people on his body, were like, yeah, he did the little things right, but you're first team All NBA and MVP conversation in the regular season. So don't tell me you're doing the little things right. Like you're supposed to be like.
But how about he was the fourth player in NBA history to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists in the finals, and win the title.
On paper, though, you went to the finals.
What do you mean?
I said that's on paper. We actually were alive to witness it, so you know it's a little different.
It was definitely different, for sure.
Like kids, right, who are, let's say, 15, 16, whatever, right? They will read on paper that Kawhi Leonard in the Toronto Raptors defeated Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. That's what they'll know according to paper. But because we're alive for it, we'll know that Kevin Durant got hurt, Klay Thompson got hurt. So we're actually alive to witness it. So if we seen that, it would seem, like, according to this, that Jason Tatum was the best player in those series, and you would have thought that he dominated all the way through. But because we're old enough to have watched that, witnessed it, you wouldn't say, oh, yeah, he was dominant in Game 1 and 2. He chose 2 games out of the 5 to be dominant.
He was definitely dominant two out of the 4. I wouldn't say 2 out of the 4 victories.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jaylen Brown was dominant yesterday.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't dominant yesterday. But Game 1, he held it down.
100%.
Game 2, he held it down. Even Game 3, when Jason Tatum went off, he held it down too.
So I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm been on video receipts. I like them both.
Yeah.
Are you a person you're picking? All right. Well, JB just won Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP. Tatum did not. We don't need Tatum. Or do you think we need both, or do you think we can be just as good with just one of them?
Nah, you 1,000% need both. 1,000% need both. And they're 2 great players, like I said. This is not Jason Tatum hate. This is me holding him to a standard. I just want that from you every single time.
And you're saying, like, if you want to be in a graphic like this, you got to raise your level of play, essentially.
You don't raise your level of play. It's the consistency of that play. So, like, if you watch the end of Game 5, you could tell he wanted that Finals MVP. Like, you were playing like that. Is it just because you wanted the Finals MVP, or because that's how you actually, like?
And that's because he's a superstar. So, off Celtics now, Luka just lost 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Is he being held to a higher level standard now? Like, all right, you made it to the finals, you lost now. Now you need to win an MVP and a finals to be considered top 5 again. Because everyone else in top 5 right now has won a title now. If you're going to put Jokic in there, you're going to put Giannis up there, Tatum. You can put SJ. Obviously, SJ has not won a title yet, but are SGA and Luka now like taking a back seat to Tatum, Giannis, JB?
I mean, Joel Embiid would be in that conversation too, but
these motherfuckers always injured though.
Yeah, exactly. Always hurt. I don't know. Jason Tatum. Can you ask your question?
Like, do you think now Luka's being held to a different level because how Tatum and JB in 2022 made it? Now they're on a different level and they lost. So now it's like, oh well, now they need to win a title to be considered one of the top guys. They just did. So now is Luka taking back seats to Tatum?
Oh, yeah. So I'll say offensively, Luka had the front seat, but as an overall player, Jason Tatum definitely took that step, winning the title. So
I would agree.
Yeah, he also took that step. And it's not like they just won, they dominated.
Wasn't even close. And they did everything you possibly can do. Mm-hmm. Well, he did. And the team just was not even close. Yeah. Did you see this stat right here? Teammates with 450 points each in 3 straight NBA playoffs. Only 2 people ever done it. Shaq and Kobe, JB and JT.
That's fire.
And this one's probably going to hurt your soul a little bit. JT just passed Kobe for total playoff points before the age of 27.
That's tough.
Did you say that those don't matter, though? Are you saying this doesn't matter or how he's getting them?
We watched the games. That's what I'm saying.
But it's a whole shit ton of games, not just one game. It's not just one series.
Oh yeah, facts. So yeah, I feel like in the past he's folded though in the big moment. So like, if his teammates weren't there to hold him, obviously everybody needs their teammates, but I don't know. He just
You don't think Kobe was getting kind of a little bit carried though with Shaq? These were the Shaq dominated years before 27.
I don't think Kobe was getting carried because Kobe was holding his own. If you look at his averages from all those series, and
But it fucking helps having Shaq in his prime, dominant Shaq.
exactly. So now in this situation, we're comparing Shaq to Jaylen Brown.
Oh fuck no!
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, Kobe got carried by not carried. Kobe held his own and played with Shaq. Like with someone like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's a great player, but are we putting him in the category of one of those players that?
No,
like, exactly,
absolutely not. My Heat friend trying to argue with me that Jimmy Butler is still better than Jaylen Brown. Are you picking Jimmy Butler over Jaylen Brown?
You see what he just did? You can't.
I think there's no fucking way.
You can't.
No
You
way.
can't just win Eastern Conference Finals MVP and then Finals MVP.
Another good one I saw today. Would you take Jrue Holiday and Derek White over Luka and Kyrie?
No.
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 This is I don't know. More question than you.
I mean,
more difficult question than you can think about it. They're better overall players. Doing everything.
Yeah,
everything.
overall players too, but
Like defense,
Yeah, that's a
making
fact.
those hustle plays. Obviously, Luka's the best player. It's not even a fucking question. But the combination of both of them.
yeah, that's a fact. But when you can score that many points on offense, is like it's kind of like in football when they take a running back that's really good that fumbles a lot. So it's like they kind of chalk up one for the other just because there's such offensive players. Like
I think it's kind of crazy though. It's even like debatable. Like you would pick obviously Luka and Kyrie, but it's not like a 100%. I think it's like there's room to talk about it. But it's just crazy how it went from like best overall backcourt of all time to
that was crazy. Whoever said that.
how are they the best of all time?
Yeah.
Clay and Steph. Like I don't even like the Warriors, but there's no way they're better than Clay and Steph.
Exactly. They haven't proven it.
Absolutely not. Speaking of proven, we had this last time getting on camera. What? Oh, first of all, shout out to Mazzulla. That's fire.
Sure.
Speaking of, what do you say?
Rhode Island's own.
When I was on Joe Mazzulla taking home a championship. Now we got a couple. We got Will Blackman winning some Super Bowl titles. We got NBA titles from Hendricken now from Rhode Island. Speaking of Rhode
I
Island,
heard the coach from Nuggets went to Hendricken.
Hardy? Wait,
From the Nuggets.
the Nuggets? I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's his name? Is it Mike Malone or am I bugging?
Oh, he did go. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He did go to see Hendricken. There's a random ass WWE referee who went to St. Ray's, by the way. Mad fucking random. But what was I going to say? Speaking of Rhode Island, bred athletes, obviously you're more in tune to the football scene. Fredo finishes Rhode Island Hall of Fame for football. Top 5. How you ranking them?
Top 5. I feel like
Top 5 inductees to Fredo's Hall of Fame of football for Rhode Island.
I feel like runs for what he did in the state of Rhode Island. He is obviously top 5. Everybody from every era will tell you that. I feel like Quiddy, obviously first round draft pick out of Rhode Island, All-American, played at University of Michigan. Like obviously he's there too. Will Blackman, obviously from all of his accomplishments as well. Jamie Silva, obviously from all their accomplishments. And then I feel like those are really the only people who I got to witness. Well, I didn't really Renz obviously and Jamie Silva before my time, but I got to witness Quiddy and then Will Blackman before my time. But I'm close enough in age where I know about them, where I feel like the others before that. So I guess instead of a top 5, it's a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I like that. He else? Mount Rushmore, and not ranking him, but I know you have mentioned him previously. Who was like the best guys you played against? You would say Bryant, Blair, anywhere like where those guys you're like, damn, he's real deal right
So
here.
all levels.
All levels, yeah. He's the man. They did too serious.
I feel like
played against or played with?
Okay. So should I start from where should I stop?
I feel like you have a whole list like that. Like I feel like my Patrick, our boy Pat Moran, give an example. Like he said he faced Josh Allen. Like that's just a different level. Like, oh shit, Josh Allen's legit. He played against Jai at Boise State. He dropped like 300 yards and like 5 touchdowns. I'm talking like a performance like that. You're like this. He's elite.
Cam Gill, he's number 49 on the Buccaneers. He went to Wagner, so I played against him in college. He was like, for his size, he's probably like 6'2", probably like 220, but he could move. Like he was flying.
What position he play?
He plays like outside linebacker, DM, kind of like that. 3-4.
He was making it difficult for you.
Yeah, I remember there was a play like I blocked him and we were on the left hash and it's her running backs. Either if he tries to go in, catch him straight up, but if he tries to go like to the outside, just kind of ride him out, pause.
No diddy.
Yeah, exactly. And I did that, and our quarterback took off running and ran all the way to the other sideline, and he hawked him down.
Nah.
Like he was moving. People that I played with, Matt Sewell was a dog, Portsmouth, and then he was crazy. One of the top people I played against at Portsmouth, and then obviously I was a teammate with him at Bryant. He was a dog.
How was that Portsmouth Saints matchup?
It got bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was a scrimmage our junior year, and he turned up.
He was elite like that. I've never seen him like play like that.
The truth. Go watch his highlight tape. It's on YouTube still. Like Matt Sewell's the truth.
It's crazy. I feel like you wouldn't. Nothing against Portsmouth, but like, I feel like you just don't think of elite athletes like that from Portsmouth. You think of typically like, oh, they have linemen, so they're just blocking for them.
Nah, not the Portsmouth teams I played. I seen the two people that were in high school and I was there both had chances at the league. Matt Sewell and Sean Coyne. Yeah. So,
even with UNH, right?
Yeah. And then they had some crazy running back, Ryan Zapaniak. And I think their quarterback's name was Bobby something. I don't know, but he was.
Sounds like the scrimmage got out of hand.
Yeah, it got bad. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, and then I played with Tom Kennedy, who was on the Lions. TK, he was good.
When you're with like athletes like that, are they like pushing you to be better? Like, was their work ethic at that point higher than yours, or like you guys just the same and they just had that elite talent?
1,000%. So like I went through injuries, so I of course worked hard. But when you're a Division I athlete, is like what separates the dudes that go to the league is like the dudes that want an extra bad. So it's like everybody lifts, everybody goes to practice, everybody goes to treatment, everybody like everybody does that, which fills your schedule up all day. But the dudes that go to the league are the ones where we just had a lift. And 7 o'clock, and practice ended at, we practiced from like, let's say 2 hours. So from like 4:30 to like 6:30, something like that.
AM?
No, this is
PM.
PM. And practice ended, and let's say the diner hall is closing, so everybody has to rush to go, go
The last meal in.
Yeah, get the last meal in. But there's the guys that are staying on the field to either catch jugs or run extra routes or practice their hands for D linemen, or practice their get-offs. It's like the dudes that feel like doing that. Like, I had a roommate, another one of the best dudes I played with, Gene Constant. He was my roommate, and I didn't see him unless, like, it was basically unless he was at practice. Because if he had free time, every free time he had either was going to lift or he was in the coach's office watching his film. And every single, like, there was literally no free time other than when he went to sleep, and he would go to sleep at, like, 9.
God damn. So you said Gene Constant, TK, Matt Sewell. Are you, like, ever catching them out at parties and shit like that?
I feel like some of them, but the thing is, at Bryant, the functions will end at 12. And it's like, even if you'll see them at functions, they wouldn't really be like sipping. They'll be drinking water, and they'll be like you go and they'll be the first person to lift the next day, probably like already in a full sweat by the time everybody else gets there.
That's great. What do you think? Like you said, you're pretty focused on like motivated yourself. What do you think brings someone like that even more? Like how the Tyreek Hills, Mahomes, like you think they're just made different?
It could be they just built different, or their environment, what their situation is at home that they're trying to make it out of. So like some people, it's not too sunny or not too bright wherever they're coming from. So they're coming from a situation they're trying to make it out, or they have, some really great guidance that taught them, the ropes, like whether they had a parent, older cousin, or something like that played a high level of football. So they kind of just teaching them, the ropes and what they need to do to get to that next level. Like someone like Christian McCaffrey has an advantage.
Or his entire family.
Exactly.
Fucking D1 athletes.
Exactly. So it's like kind of just either having a situation like that or some people just being naturally blessed.
So, obviously you said TK. I know he's not from Rhode Island, but Mazzulla was, Quiddy was, Renz, different era, but, black men into the league. To get to, like, those more players to make it to the league like that, what do you think needs to change in Rhode Island football?
Take it more serious and do the stuff that other states are doing. Like, I'm pretty sure there's still that rule or still the ban where coaches can only be with players a certain amount of time. Like, how can we ever expect us to catch up to a place like Florida where one is not only is it way bigger, but you have kids competing in whole spring balls. And so imagine that in Rhode Island, there's rules where coaches can't interact with kids or do whatever. And in another state, these kids are already going through their pass protections and their run plays and their passing plays. So imagine when the season comes. Imagine all summer long now they can run all those plays. The kids can meet up and like
huge disadvantage.
Exactly.
Huge disadvantage. I mean, obviously you're a coach for Breakthrough right now. You're staying in tune with these kids in Rhode Island. How do you feel the scene is going right now in Rhode Island?
I feel like when I was in high school, I feel like the scene was everybody either would go JUCO or they would go prep after their senior year. And then after me, it transitioned to kids going prep earlier, just going the prep route. And now it transformed into kids moving out of Rhode Island. So, like, I coached a couple guys, my guy Hurl, Terrence, and Nay. They're all on the 15U breakthrough team, and now they all play football in Florida, Miami. So, like, they're all over there balling, all have a bunch of offers just because they got put in a different environment where they weren't, like, I mean, Nay's pretty much still the top dog, I'm not going to lie. He was a top dog everywhere he'd been.
Yeah, for sure.
There's, like, basically what I'm trying to say is they got put in a predicament where everybody cares about football, everybody works out, everybody lifts. So, it's kind of like, you're either going to sink or swim. So it's like you have to raise your level of play to that level of competition. So
it's kind of crazy, like how kids from Miami are obviously Florida breeds the most NFL athletes. How
they got the formula, like I spoke earlier about people being able to give back. So it's like
facts.
Once I got the formula, I can go tell all my little cousins, and then me just being surrounded or them being surrounded by it, they know it's possible. And because, so once you go actual FBS D1, it gets even easier to get to the NFL as opposed to going to a smaller school. So it's like coaches are going back over there to recruit kids. So it's like it's just a huge pipeline.
For sure. And I was going to say how it's crazy how, obviously Miami has a bunch of elite players, but how 3 kids from Rhode Island can go there. And they're probably thinking, Rhode Island, yeah, okay, but you're going to hit the bench. And then meanwhile, these 3 kids are balling. So basically what I'm saying is how we can't compete with them. They need to be put in the right situation like you've been saying.
Yeah, that's why I said before the prep school route always also works too, but because I'm sure that's a huge sacrifice on a lot of those players that left and went out of state to, I don't know what the living situation is, but they could be with family or could be away from family, but regardless, it's a huge sacrifice because they're leaving where they were before. So,
100%.
Yeah, just I don't know. It takes a lot to get to where they're trying to go. So shout out to them because it all looks like they're doing really great in that situation.
Yeah, no, 100%. Shout out to them. Keep working out there, putting it on the map, helping these kids. At the end of the day, they definitely motivate these other kids to do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So anything that can be put, help these kids out, grow. I'm all about it, man. I'm definitely all about them. Definitely love how you're doing shit for Breakthrough, helping these kids out as well. Any summertime starting right now. Celtics just won the finals. Is what's going on for your summertime? What should we look forward to for my guy Fredo finished upcoming weeks, months, end of the year? Took 2 years to come back to the EG pod, so I'm not sure the next time you're gonna come through. So anything we should look forward to my guy Fredo. Anything on the map?
Just more content with both fitness and lifestyle. hopefully get a chance to take a couple trips this summer. Help transform a couple people's bodies. And just gonna be putting in more work. Can't ever stay stagnant. Always try to keep leveling up, and we're just gonna keep working.
I love to see that.
Follow the page, you get to follow the journey.
Follow the page, follow the journey. Any last motivational speeches or anything for anybody in life, fitness, or anything like that? Any of the players watching this? I know a bunch of players be watching this.
Be you and trust other people to be themselves.
All right.
Short and simple.
Big facts. And calculate your shots. Calculate your shots in all aspects of life.
Amen.
Early predictions. Are we back to back champions?
Who?
Celtics. And Dolphins.
I feel like Celtics team is young enough to be able to do it again. Hopefully Porzingis can stay healthy enough for them to do it again, even though they showed they didn't really need him in the postseason. But if they have enough money to bring everybody back, then it's a high probability that I feel like Celtics is definitely going to come out the East again.
Yeah.
But it also depends if, I feel like even though they were the best team, they got blessed a lot. So,
hey, man, you can only play who's on your schedule.
Exactly. So, but I'm saying just with all the injuries, they're a great team. But even if they're winning those series, sometimes you get beat up from going through some tough series.
For sure.
The West is really tough. So I feel like this is really a great age of basketball. Like, I feel like out of the West, like, it all shocked us that Dallas came out. Like,
100%.
We were thinking Ant-Man was going to come out. We were also thinking the Nuggets were going to repeat, and we were shocked when we seen the Timberwolves beat them. So I feel like it's going to be really competitive out of the West.
I do like this era of basketball.
Yeah, more than like, especially. I'm sorry.
Okay, especially what?
More than that, when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, like it became boring. Like,
just about to say that. Exactly. When it was Warriors, Cavs every year, it's like, God damn it. People talk shit about this year about the Celtics. How about the fucking Cavs when they were good? That East sucked when LeBron was on top of the Cavs.
Yeah, he
had a cakewalk every goddamn year, and no one's talking shit about him. But either way, I do like how, like, within the past 6 years, there's been a new champion every single year. But I'm not gonna lie, I will take 5 back to back. So so I will enjoy that. I'll enjoy being the villain. I've been in New England my entire life, being on the opposite side, rooting against the Patriots. So I would like to be part of the dynasty this time around. So who knows? Obviously, injuries. If you predicting a full healthy teams, should be Boston. But who knows what's gonna happen? Any injuries. But the Bucks are weird. I don't think Dame and the Bucks are weird. I don't think Dame and like Giannis played well together. Like, they're good together, but like Middleton's always hurt. They don't. I feel like they're like a weird gelling situation. And oddly enough, the Bucks like helped us win a title. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the Bucks. Shout out to Jrue Holiday, baby. You got NBA, NFL, early NFL predictions. See if you're right. If you are right, I'm gonna ask you every time your predictions and bet them a whole year in advance.
Let's see. For my NFL predictions, I'm interested to see what the Ravens can do. I feel like once Patrick Mahomes is on the field, he's always someone that could get it done every single time. So it's like, as long as they have that core group, it's like KC. And then the Niners, I mean, for the most part, I think most of their team's coming back. So with the Niners, I feel like they might be the team out of the NFC again.
They could be the Celtics this year. They can finally get over the hump.
Yeah, I was going to say that was my NFL comparison to the Celtics before. So the Celtics got it done. Let's see what the 49ers can do.
100%, yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue those. I mean, the safe bets, but I mean, why go against the grain? How can you go against Mahomes? And speaking of, I saw you post on your page the other day. You found some inspiration in the Tom Brady induction? Yeah.
He said everybody should play football for the simple fact that it's tough. And that's kind of like, that's what I preach to a lot of people that I train a lot. It's like, football, like, is just something that it teaches you so much more about life. Like, everybody thinks about it as everybody's running full speed into each other. But it's like, he explained, like, those waking up at 6 a.m. and basically being disciplined when everybody around you doesn't have to be disciplined, but you have to be because you want to be successful at whatever you're trying to be successful at. So just teaching life lessons like that, being able to work with people who, you may not want to work with just because you guys have a common goal, and just being able to lock in on a mission and not letting any of the outside noise distract you from that.
You think you ran into that before, like in life too? Like you think it's transitioned in your personal life where you're like, I don't really like this guy, but you know what, or girl, whatever. But we're gonna break as a team, and we're gonna accomplish this goal.
I feel like at work maybe, or like let's say in college group projects and stuff like that, or let's say any environment you're in where you're working with somebody, you may not have some personal vendettas about them, but you realize that you don't have to be best friends with everybody. Like you guys can be cordial and just collaborate to get whatever goal you have done finished.
Yeah, man, for sure. I definitely agree with that, and that was definitely an inspiring ass induction ceremony. Had to watch it afterwards, it's the middle of a Celtics game, but it was dope, man. I love seeing stuff like that. I love hearing inspiring conversations, reading books, like you said, and any entrepreneurs that you can gain some type of information from. Conversations like this, man, tapping in with you, man. We've been good friends for a while, so love hearing like your mindset on things as well. Because there's not one way to think about something, but it's definitely great to hear someone who's focused like you are in the fitness world and in life, and hearing your thoughts on how I should have build up my mindset. It's always good to hear these conversations, especially something just getting over something in my personal life, and then hearing like your motivation. Even hearing back the first audio podcast, I'm like, damn, he's putting shit into perspective. Basically, stop being a bitch and just get over it. I listen to David Goggins a lot.
Figure it out.
Basically, yeah, figure it out. It's your fault. You did something wrong to be in that situation. So stop being a bitch and get over it. I'm like, you know what? He's right. He's right. So stop being a bitch. Tap into Fredo Fitness. He'll get you ready for the summer, wintertime, staying fit, getting fit. But most importantly, staying fit, which is the hard part. So he'll help you out with all that type of shit. Hell yeah, all that type of stuff. Let's get professional on the podcast. So help out that type of stuff. Tap in his link right here, and it's right underneath him right now, baby. So tap in for the summer, get it right. My guy Fredo _fitness_ your boy EG Pot of Thunder on all social media. Explore FF, my personal travels. It's a whole lot going on in there. So if you want to see a whole bunch of different concerts, sports games, travel, tap to my guy Fredo Fitness for all the fitness and motivational speeches, baby. Get it, baby.